Okay, let's have Okay, how's that sounding? I think that should be good. As always, I see Abudi is the first person in here, as usual. So, hey man, good to see you. Okay, cool. I think that's everything working. Nice. What we got going then? Somebody give Loki some water. That boy's thirsty. Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about Loki today because Loki. This is a very different side of Loki that we've seen before. Whether it's for better or worse, we'll see. But I think this is going to make Loki's match quite interesting now that we have the Brunhilde connection as well. Wouldn't surprise me if It wouldn't surprise me if he interacts with Sig-freed at some point before his match as well. Sorry for the dog barking. Which may indicate to me Loki definitely being either the final or penultimate fighter. I personally think he might be penultimate these days. Obviously in Legend, Loki is the one to bring about Ragnarok, so it really wouldn't surprise me if he is near the end of the tournament. But you know, he's getting some development now, so that's cool. That confirms Loki will die because he's a simp, and male simps whose antagonist must die. Yeah, I think Loki will die. I don't think Loki is going to be one of the surviving fighters. That's my guess. But yeah, he is a bit of a simp. I will say his taxidermies are pretty cool, though. Not the weird Brunhilde dolls, though, but I think the snakes and stuff, it's pretty cool. We're getting to see a bit more of his personality, which is even more unhinged than we thought. Make sure to sell your Loki stocks. Yeah, poor Loki. Well, no, you better sell your bloody Odin stocks too, because we now know Odin's got a spear, so Odin's just guaranteed to lose now. Yo, I got Al Kong's backstory ready for the fan stream. Absolutely amazing. AMV University. That is good. We need these backstories going for, what do we call it? Record of Ragnarok, whatever the hell we were calling it. The doll is crazy. The doll is crazy. What's really crazy is the doll looks like shit. That's not fooling anyone. That is obviously a fake and shit doll. So, you know, he's got to step up here. We don't respect simps in this universe. Well, what other simps do we have in universe? Do we have any more simps in regular Ragnarok? Like, Brunhilde, I guess, is simping for Sig-freed, I guess. I don't think we have any, like, big megas. I could just be forgetting some. Oh, I guess Ares. No. Yeah, Apollo simps for Ares a lot. So, you know. But I mean, we're all simping for Ares because it's Ares. So, Okta versus Susanoo will be the final fight of the tournament because that Odin stuff doesn't seem like it's going to be stopped like when Buddha almost fought Loki. I don't think we're going to... I don't think Ragnarok's going to end before Ragnarok ends, if that makes sense. I think we're getting all the matches. I just don't see that happening. In terms of the Odin stuff, I just feel plot stuff will happen and Odin will just be a good boy. What I think is actually quite likely is, obviously we know Odin's plan, as revealed in this chapter, is to resurrect Arcus, primordial god, which is what Arceus, the Pokemon's named after, fun fact. But I'm sure we don't know how he needs to resurrect this god. And my assumption would be, since Odin's also got some kind of reason why he wants Ragnarok to happen, has been hinted at a few times, so it wouldn't surprise me if Ragnarok itself is somewhat relevant to the resurrection of this god. So it wouldn't surprise me if we have to do all the rounds in order for the god to be summoned, if that makes sense. So I do think we're going to finish Ragnarok, and then this god stuff, this primordial god stuff will get involved. Whether that is, you know, the gods and the humans teaming up to fight it or not, who knows. But I imagine they'll tie Ragnarok in with the god itself, and it'll be interlinked. Lubu's general was a massive simp. Actually, yeah, that is a good shout. Lubu's horse, red hair, was a bit of a simp too. That Loki shit broke my heart. I couldn't believe my eyes. Yeah, any Loki fans are just gonna be really upset. I think it's funny. I think it's really funny. It makes Loki a more interesting character to me. This is not an angle I would have expected from his character. However, if I must say one thing, I did predict he'd be a horny son of a gun in my matchup predictions. So I think that can still hold true, that he might just be a bit horny. What where are we up to? Did you ever listen to that Sensei Beats I suggested? Yes, I did. It slapped, must admit. Good stuff. Thanks for the recommendation. And we don't respect male simps, and Apollo respects Ares. Don't put him in the same category. No. The thing is, Apollo simping is good simping, because he's a very respectable man. And I will say, as like every day that goes on, my love for Apollo just gets bigger and bigger. I might like him on Leonidas now. It's shocking. Apollo is just like genuinely one of my favorite characters now. He's such a Chad. I imagine Zeus will interfere in the 2v1. Yeah. If we want a physical plot reason to why Odin stops the fight, Zeus is a pretty good guess, because it's Zeus. As far as we're aware, he is the strongest god, alive. You could maybe make an argument for Odin secretly being stronger or something, but so far Zeus seems to be the strongest. But yeah, I imagine Odin needs Ragnarok to happen for some reason, so I assume that'll be the plot reason why. The ladies were simping for Apollo. Anime Master, great to see you in here. Yeah, that's true. And there's no women fighting Ragnarok either, because Ragnarok's really sexist. Yeah, really sexist. So yeah, I agree there. Corey G, that boy Loki is a freak. On the bright side, since Loki's a simp, Anubis will live, which I called 2 streams ago. Well, if we're going with the prediction humanity does win Ragnarok, then only one more god can actually survive their fight. So if you want that, so let's just hope that's Anubis. If you want to go with the gods winning, then I guess 2 gods can survive. So maybe Loki. Loki can survive too with his simping. Corey G, he's my freak. Do you think it's Ymir as the primordial god? I don't think it's Ymir. Ymir is just a separate god to Arcus, whatever their name is. I can't actually remember what mythology Arcus is from. But yeah, it's a similar concept. Like, we know Gaia existed, and presumably Gaia's dead. I can't remember if it's a Gaia died or not, but Gaia is one of the older gods, like Kronos and stuff. I'm curious if Uranus is around too, mainly because like the Greek pantheon just seems to be the most important in the series, so it wouldn't surprise me if Uranus is another one of these big primordial gods or something. Loki winning his round to be funny. I mean, if Loki is penultimate final, if Loki's in the final round, and you want gods to winning, then you can go with that crackpot theory that Loki wins Ragnarok for the gods, and then he gets the go at the end. I've seen a video about it possibly being Ymir. I mean, I'd love it to be Ymir. Ymir is a very interesting character in mythology, so I'd be really down with that. It's been nerfed because he doesn't have a weapon anymore. I assume it nerfs him to an extent, but even at full power, even with a weapon, I don't really see Buddha beating Odin in a fight, if that makes sense. I think Buddha's a very strong character. I think he's in the upper echelon of the gods, but I do think like Odin is just built different. I think he's on like a Zeus kind of tier of them just being absolutely really strong. Wonder which primordial god will be, Uranus or Ymir. Yeah, there's so many. It could just pull from a random other pantheon. We could get some references, but no, in this series, Greek and Norse seem to be the pretty likely choices for anything when it comes to the primordial stuff. I'm curious if it will have, and this will tie into the Titan Machia, where it's called, where Zeus killed Kronos, because it gets referenced a lot. We also got the references to the Titans attack, and then the reference to Gaia and Chaos and stuff like that. So I'd like if all of that kind of tied together in some kind of backstory, but I'm not expecting it to. But it definitely could. We could have some big, some actual big lore backstory to the verse, rather than just there is a primordial god and they just existed. Loki versus Nostradamus is going to happen. I mean, Shonen Hero, that is my personal prediction for it. But yeah, I think Loki could fight many characters at this point. Yeah, I don't know. I do like, as much as we all like predicting, a lot of the time our predictions are not right, and I often think that's for the better. I like when the story is surprising us. Ao Kong backstory is similar to Chin and Apollo, Sun Wukong, Leonidas and Sasaki. all cool, cool. I like to hear this. We're up to. Buddha is a beast for stepping up to a chief god with one eye and no weapon. Oh yeah, Buddha is the absolute Chad. It cannot be. Oh yeah, sorry, Detective Buddha. Detective Buddha is like one of the sickest fits in the series. Why he's wearing that? Why he changed to go confront Odin? I do not know, but he did. I'm still betting on Loki versus Rasputin. But yeah, I know you're a big hardcore Loki versus Rasputin. I like the matchup. I like most of the only Loki matchup I didn't like the sound of was Octa versus Loki, which obviously isn't happening now. But like Loki Rasputin, I really like the idea of. Loki Nostradamus, I just think is most likely. Loki Simo could be interesting. It definitely could be an interesting fight. But we will see where it goes. The boy Apollo returns. Loki takes. Loki takes notes. This is how you're respected while loving a woman. Yeah. Well, that is a really good point, though. Since Apollo survived his round, that means Apollo will probably be doing plot stuff going forward, which will be really cool to see. As the story goes on and we get more information on the plot besides the tournament itself, it's really cool thinking about how some of the gods will be involved in that, especially Thor. I'm very excited to see what Thor does, because Thor does literally nothing. He occasionally shows up and says nothing. So I'm looking forward to seeing him do some plot-relevant stuff, hopefully by the end of the series. Beelzebub. AMV Universe, Beelzebub, I mean. Oh, yeah, okay, I get what you mean. Unique stage for round 10. Oh, yes, definitely got to talk about the Kyoto stage, because this really, I imagined we probably were going to get another one of these kind of arenas. It wouldn't just be a one-off of round 4. I didn't expect it to be Okata of all people to get it. I was very much of the. If you asked me to guess, I probably would have been generic and say I'd like Simo to have one. But Okata sounds really fun. I'm imagining some really cool set pieces of Okata and Susanoo. Genuinely, that has really got me hyped. I'm not as hyped for this fight as I have been for some. Mainly because I don't know why, actually, because Susanoo was my most anticipated god to fight, and I really like his design. And I really like Okata. I think it's just because we've had so much other juicy stuff in this chapter that, there's other stuff besides the round to think about. But yeah, I'm very excited for this, and I think the new arena is going to be really cool. I think if we're getting an arena like this is probably going to be a longer round. Last round was quite a short round. I assume we're going to get a longer round, more like a round 4 or a round 8 kind of length. Around that, I'm expecting, and I mean Okada's going to win this. It's pretty obvious, and obviously we've got the best Manslayer and the best Godslayer, so I'm sure we're going to see some absolutely brutal fighting here. So yeah, I'm very hyped for round 10, and hopefully next chapter will actually start it. But you know how this series is. Next chapter could be more lore drops. Where are we up to? Not all surprises are good surprises, though. Sonu, hi, glad you made it into the stream. Good to see you as usual. Buddha a clown for that Sherlock shit. Yeah, Buddha is just like some of the best comedy relief in the series. Thor could come to stop the 2v1. He could, but it is Thor we're talking about, who does absolute jack. So I don't know. That is a good point of, will Thor be siding with Odin on this or not? We don't really get much of Odin and Thor's relationship. But yeah, that could be an interesting way to show those two, because I don't know, that they're father and son. That's about all we know. Well, we don't even know they are father and son, because obviously Ragnarok does take some liberties with stuff like that. Apollo isn't Zeus's son. It doesn't seem like he's Zeus's son, and the Olympians are different. Because I think I'm pretty sure it's confirmed Hades is one of the 13 Olympians, and in myth he obviously isn't. I think it's even implied Heracles is one of them too, which again isn't in myth. And assume the Artemis doesn't exist, so stuff like that does change. So I assume Thor is still going to be Odin's son, but it could be something else. It's like how Loki calls Odin uncle in this, even though in mythology Loki and Odin's relationship is more like brothers, if anything, not this kind of old man nephew kind of situation we have in the story. But that was a very long-winded way of saying I'd like Thor to do stuff, but he probably won't. Thor just sits there and looks pretty. He does indeed. Buddha is a fool. He has to be dramatic in everything he does. Yeah, and you just can't argue with that. Where up to? Do you think Anubis might have a werewolf transformation? If you ask me, I think it's likely. I'm going to say no, because it's Record of Ragnarok, and all gods have to just look like people. That's just how it works, I guess. But it would be really cool. I'd like it. Princess 4. Kyoto stage is sick. I agree. Put respect on Okuta's name. Oh yeah, I'm expecting good things from Okuta. I like Okuta a lot. Historically, very cool person. Shinji Gumi, like, history is really interesting, and I'm very excited to see what he can do. But also, I want him to be really strong, just to, annoy the people, because he has so many haters, and boy doesn't deserve that. Nostradamus versus Odin in a cathedral. I guess I don't know how they'd be able to view it if it's in a cathedral, because that would have a roof. But yeah, that could be cool. Who asked for the stage change? If I had to guess, I'd say it's Susanoo asked for it. I just don't see Okuta being the one to ask for it, but I can see Susanoo asking for it in order to give, like, Okuta the home field advantage, because, like, Susanoo wants to fight a strong fighter. Like, he's seeking out Okuta because Okuta's so strong as a swordsman, so he obviously wants a challenge here, so I can see why he wants to get Susanoo to be he wants Okuta to fight at full strength. Where are we up to? I thought Buddha was going to die until Odin pulled a spear. Yeah, pulling that spear is just really lowered Odin stocks. But yeah, Buddha's not dying. He's Buddha. I'd assume Okuta asked. Yeah, fair. It could be either. I'd go with Susanoo, but also, do you think Thor is not on the same side as Odin? He seems pretty apathetic. Also, when Buddha betrayed the gods, he was generally happy. He might be on Team Buddha. Thor is... I've got... Next week's video is going to be talking about how the gods perceive humanity and how that opinion has changed over the story. It basically hinges a lot on... If you notice the backstories of Thor, Zeus, and Poseidon, none of them are like them as characters. It's just about their feats. Like, it's about Zeus killing Kronos, or Thor killing all the giants, or Poseidon killing Adamus. There's no real feelings to those flashbacks. They're all about feats and strength. And that's obviously because round 3 is the first win for humanity. It's when Poseidon, who is nothing but pride, gets defeated, indicating that, the gods aren't just inherently superior, So it's of my opinion, I'll talk about it in the video next week, that the backstories in these first few chapters are specifically devoid of characterization stuff, because we're not meant to see the gods as like people. We're meant to see them as these just monumentally strong beings. So for that reason, I don't think we can really say much about Thor's mental state or Thor's opinion on some stuff. And for that reason, I don't know. It could be either way. I think we're definitely going to see more of Thor either way. But yeah, that is what I'm assuming. If I'm going on my gut, I think Thor is more likely to side with the Buddha people and be against Odin stuff, but it really could go either way. That was a really long answer to that question. Where are we up to? Because Okuta does have pride in himself, his strength, same as Kondo. Oh yeah, Buddha. Yeah. Okuta definitely is strong, but like, I don't know if he'd request an arena. I don't know. 2 against 1, Abudi. That means you're wrong. Fair. If you're unsure on who's going to win, never bet on the spear user. Yeah. I mean, technically, if we count Beelzebub, then one spear winner has won, I guess. But it's very up there if you want to count Beelzebub as a spear user. Loki needs to have a talk with Andrew Tate and iPhone Gaines to give that toxic masculinity respect. Toxic masculinity. Yeah, Loki is... I mean, is Loki... Here's the thing, though. Is Loki a guy? Because we all go and there's no female... what's the word? Fighters. Could Loki be like asexual or something? I think it's genuinely quite possible. Have you read Kingdom? It's a very good manga. Kingdom is on my list, my very long list. It's one of the next mangas I will get to, and I've heard really good things about it, so I will be getting on to Kingdom soon, but I haven't read it just yet. Loki is like Anasui from Stone Ocean. Yeah, I guess Anasui's not as creepy though. Loki's a bit more creepy than Anasui. Anasui's still a little creepy, but like he's not making dolls of Jolene or anything. Koriji, I'm gonna reverse jump. You're gonna be Okuta who asked for Kyoto. God fucking, they're turning on me. Koriji, oh, you've started Kingdom. Oh, well, don't spoil it for me, guys. Yeah. So basically, everyone likes Kingdom is what I'm learning here. Loki, the gender-bending king. I mean, if we're going with like Loki, if any character would be, it would be Loki, because you know, if anyone doesn't know much about Loki mythology, just know that Loki saw when Asgard's wall was being built. One of the workers had a horse. Loki looked at that horse, thought that's a really fit horse, turned into a female horse, had sex with said horse, and then it gave birth to Odin's 8-legged horse. And that's just very standard Odin, standard Loki stuff. So you know, that's Loki for you. Loki, the gender-bending king or queen, royalty, anime master. Do you think the author of Baki is racist? America has been defeated twice in Ali Jr. I'm Michael, Obama, Bush, and probably other American characters I'm forgetting have been disrespected. I guess to a sense, I'm not. I know it's a big meme that Itagaki. Big meme Itagaki is what's the word? Massively nationalist, and I agree to a sense, but I can't think it comes more. Basically, what it comes down to is one of the best ways for him to show. Actually, no. How do I word this? I don't think he's anti-America. I think he's anti just governments in general, because even the Japanese government gets clowned on as much as the American government, American military does. They both get clowned on massively. So I think it's more a disrespect of the thing. And then the other thing is, what is the biggest superpower in the world in terms of like power and military might? It's America. So if you're going to show a character defeating a country, it just kind of makes sense it would be America. And you know, Japan has very good reasons to dislike America, so I'm sure there is some kind of personal bias there. But I wouldn't say it's racist. And I also think there's plenty of examples of like how much he wanks off Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali is incredibly respected in the series. Yeah, his son is, but his son is clowned on. His son's clowned on for mindset, not being American. Whereas like Muhammad Ali is incredibly respected. Like even Yujiro respects him. And then there's Oliver as well, and Oliver's an incredibly powerful figure. You know, I think it's just more that if you're gonna show a character over foreign countries, which is a very common thing in Baki, it just makes sense to use America. And he clowns on most governments and countries and militaries. It isn't just America. It's just America gets highlighted the most because, you know, it's the biggest in the world. But, you know, it's, at the end of the day, unless you ask him, it's really hard to know. I don't think it's as massively... There's slight nationalists to it, but then a lot of Bakido is really anti-Japan, like, and anti the government, anti their ideals, and stuff like that. So I think it's more just he doesn't like governments and stuff than that. But, you know, I could be reading way into it. Very long ramble about Baki there. Is this the only point every straight dude is going to be at this point? The only point, yeah. At this, the only point every straight dude is going to become the sim. Dude, we could have put Bruce Lee and Mulan on the fan roster. God damn. You don't realise, MV University, how many people we could have put in that fan roster. There were so many people. Hi, I'm back from the second stream in a row. Hey, Sinner, good to see you here. Thanks for joining us. Predictions for Rasputin design. I have a feeling it'll be Femboy Rasputin. I'd like Femboy Rasputin. I think that'd be really funny. If I had to guess, I think Rasputin is going to be like a drunk priest. If anyone's watching Freerun right now, you know exactly the kind of character I'm thinking of. I think he's going to be a drunk, like kind of I think he'll look about middle-aged and he'll just be a drunk priest. That is my prediction for Rasputin's design. I've got nothing to base that on, but that's what I'm going with. And he's probably going to look a lot more handsome than he did in real life, because Ragnarok. Also heard Oliver got disrespected in the manga, the only exception being Ali Senior. Oliver Oliver did get disrespected in the manga, but then he came back stronger and beat the hell out of the guy who did it to him, and he's looking in a really good place right now. So, you know, Koriji, not the horse. No. Oh yeah, back from the Loki stuff. Yeah, I'm really far back in chat, aren't I? Where are we up to? Why are you making me hate Loki more? Don't ask a man his salary. Never ask a woman her age. Don't ask Loki what he did to that horse. So we got the horse memes now. I'm loving this. Is it odd to? I feel like I have a reasonable bets for the remaining rounds based on issue 85, especially Odin's opponent due to the reveal of Gungnir. I think there is plenty. I think the kind of thing with matchups and predictions is there's really good reasoning for a lot of matchups, and then those matchups just don't happen. Like, I think you can, like, obviously, like, Apollo Simo was a massive thing beforehand, and there was plenty of good reasons you could give for that. But at the same time, there wasn't as many good reasons for Leonidas versus Apollo. However, now that we know their backstories of the two characters, which, you know, we couldn't predict beforehand, it makes a lot of sense why those two are matched up. So I think with characters like Odin, because we know quite a bit about them anyway, I think it's easier to predict them. But when it came to a character like Anubis or Susanoo, where we knew literally nothing about them, obviously those predictions are going to be the hardest because, you know, we don't know anything about them. But I think an Odin matchup is definitely possible. So I think you've messaged your thing down below, so in a minute we can get to that. Loki, a victim for real. More like what the horse did to him. Absolutely amazing. Where are we up to? No, that was very much Loki's plan, which is why it's so crazy. Itagaki seems like a hater, which I respect. He gives off anarchist vibes, like Fujimoto from Blue Exorcist. Yeah, Itagaki's definitely a bit anarchist, I must admit. Gungnir in Norse mythology is a spear that never misses opponent. Whilst it wasn't named that in 85, it was shown, so I'm going to bet Simo higher is Odin's opponent. Yeah, I'm leaning. I was never a big Simo versus Odin person, but I am also leaning towards this. Yeah, good thing. I think it all really depends if Odin's the final fighter or if not. If Odin's the final fighter, I'm still very hard Kintoki, but at the same time, I don't think Kintoki Odin's a particularly interesting matchup. But I'm personally of the big opinion that what's the name? Odin's the penultimate fighter, and he deals the final loss to the humans. But, you know, it's so hard to predict. Apocryphy Diaries over Freerun. I haven't watched Apocryphy Diaries yet, but I've heard good things. And you should watch Freerun. It's good, great stuff. I still can't believe Beowulf slipped my mind during the Famouser stream. Or Beowulf would be a cool one. Also Simo may be tied to Fenrir in some way, considering his real life history of dogs. The wolf that is destined to kill Odin in Norse myth. Yeah, but at the same time, Loki gave birth to Fenrir, so you could maybe time to Loki there as well. Simo versus Odin would be nice. Simo Odin's a cool one. I just have a feeling Simo's not going to be really, really strong. Like, we all hype him up, but I feel he's going to be a Jack kind of fighter where he's going to be really skilled and tactical, but I don't think he's actually going to be that strong. I think he's going to be one of the weaker humans, all things considered. But to be honest, any matchup I'll enjoy. Yeah, that's the kind of thing. There's not been a matchup in the series I think's bad. I've enjoyed them all, so I'll just let them cook. How do you think Yujiro and Gojo would interact? Oh, I mean, obviously, if we're just talking like power game, blah blah blah, you know, Yujiro can do nothing to Gojo. But if we're talking like character, what their interaction would be like it's Yujiro, so he'd probably just he'd just know Gojo's strong, and he'd probably challenge him to a fight and get his ass whooped. But I can definitely see. The thing is, Gojo is really disrespectful to people, even if they're strong. So I don't think he'd show Yujiro much respect, and I think that'd really piss Yujiro off. So I think either way, it's just going to end in a fight, and it will end in a fight where Yujiro just cannot land anything on Gojo. Claydon Master is here. Oh, thanks for joining the stream. What have you missed? You've missed us talking about Loki's weird horse stuff that he did in mythology, and how Thor is a lazy bum who never does anything. Anubis versus Rasputin is next, with the gods winning. That after that, all the other gods can die. Yeah, I Anubis versus Rasputin is another one where, like, because we haven't met Rasputin and we know so little about Anubis, It's so hard to predict those two. I think there's really good reasons for why that could be a matchup, but at the same time, if we meet Rasputin and the whole him being immortal isn't actually a part of his regular Ragnarok character, because they might not actually choose to explore that. It's totally possible. Then I don't think that's as likely, but that is still personally my matchup just because it works with my other matchups. Anubis versus Mutant next. We've done that. I have a feeling Kentucky won't fight. No, Booty, don't. My boy needs to fight. Don't ruin it. Kentucky final fighter. He's gonna win Ragnarok for humans. I'd bet money on it. Loki versus Sig-freed. Loki versus Sig-freed's it would make a lot of sense than fighting over Brunhilde, especially if he's using Brunhilde as a Volond. But at the same time, I guess that would have to be like the final match if that happened. And although Loki did start Ragnarok in mythology, so I guess that could work. It's not my preferred Sig-freed Loki matchup, but I definitely wouldn't count it out. I have a feeling Simo's just going to hard counter several of the gods and be weak outside that. Yeah, I feel he's going to just be... I assume he'd be really weak physically, but just his range attacks will be really strong. Hopefully. I think the idea of him have his Volons being a bullet and not the gun, so he can only land one shot and has to fight hand to hand all match would be funny. But I would prefer he just uses his gun, and he's actually a ranged fighter. Hilarious, good portion of Loki kids his animals. Yeah, they gotta all be animals, let's be honest. Nostradamus. Oh yeah, I guess. I wonder if in this... I assume in canon, Loki's didn't give birth to the world serpent, because we know Thor beat that one. Thor killed it, so that'd be really sad. Nostradamus versus Odin is what I want to see the most, both curious and crazy. Yeah, that's the thing with Odin. I think Odin versus Nostradamus, there's really good reasons for that. Odin versus Simo, I think there's really good reasons for that. But then I guess there's also very good reasons for Loki versus Nostradamus. So, I think Simo might be a fraud. I think the community might think Simo's a fraud, mainly because the expectations of Simo are so high. I think it'll be the situation. It's like Leonidas. He's not a fraud. It's just people's expectations were too high. And Leo had a really, really bad... he had, the worst matchup outside of, Zeus for him. He's just so weak to fast characters. And Apollo's, arguably second fastest god. He's up there. I think he's faster than Poseidon, personally. But, that Poseidon fanboys are going to go in for that one. We don't respect people who fight long range. You got to go up and throw the hands. Also, why am I the only person who doesn't like Adam or round 2 like that? I think we've talked about this before, where you have round 2 well at the bottom of your list. Round 2's great. Love round 2. But everyone's allowed their opinions. Jesus or God in his mythology is an all-powerful creator god, but in Ragnarok he's just a sage. So Satan probably isn't going to be anything special if he's expanded upon. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get mentioned Satan again. I think even if Beelzebub does more stuff, I just don't see it personally. Where are we up to? How would the chat feel? How would chat feel if round 13 was Sig-freed versus Ra? God, Sig-freed versus Ra. Well, that would not own... Which human are you shafting? Which 2 humans are you shafting off the roster for this? Because we're already 1 human over. So if Sig-freed's fine, you're knocking 2 humans off our roster. And I am not a big fan of that. In terms of Ra, I don't see Ra being the other fighter, just because if the Greek and Norse are just the big ones. I just don't think the Egyptian pantheon will be all that important in the grand scheme of things. But, I could definitely be wrong. Kentucky is running errands for Buddha. He's definitely going to appear for Odin's plan. Well, the thing is, what is Kentucky actually doing? Because, he just said look into him. I don't think he's actually just going to Tartarus. I think he's just doing research and stuff. But that would be cool if Kentucky shows up to help Buddha, and then he confronts Odin, and we realise how much of a powerhouse Kentucky is, and that teases their fight, and then they fight in the final round. That'd be pretty fun. I'm a massive Kentucky wanker. I have a dumb theory. The final fighter for the gods will be Balder. Could be. Again, when it's a character that hasn't been introduced or mentioned in the series, we have no way of knowing yes or no. It's it can happen. Sig-freed, there was no allusion to Sig-freed until he was just mentioned. It wasn't actually that many chapters ago when Sig-freed actually got introduced, was it? But yeah, Gol is going to record the Ragnarok. Basically, yeah, end the final series. Everyone's dead apart from Ares because we know he survives, and Gol's literally recording the Ragnarok. That's really fun. I mean, if we go with that, I quite like the idea that there were 13 Valkyries beforehand, and there was a Ragnarok-like event in the past. Maybe you could even have a Ragnarok-like event before the Titanmachia or something like that. So before the current gods were doing stuff. And Brunhilde was the Gol of that set, and she survived and all her sisters died. And then she's done the same loop. It's a really weird theory, and there's no basis for it, but I just think that'd be pretty fun. God of War 2018 really popularized Baldur. Yeah. He's in the pop culture now, so that's cool. Anubis versus Simo, with Simo losing. Also, Kentucky will fight, but not in the tournament, but in prison against Odin. Basically, Baki vs Oliver. Stop taking Kentucky out of Ragnarok, guys. I want him to fight so bad. I don't care. Prison fight don't count. No, we're not having any of that. But Anubis versus Simo, with Simo losing. I mean, that would tear the fandom apart, because the fandom loves Simo, and they love Anubis, and you're making these two fight. Odin's smile is disturbing. Everything about Odin's like always been disturbing. If people call Simo a fraud in the same vein as Hades and Leah, I'm gonna effing lose it. Yeah. The thing with Hades, he has so much narrative wank that is, I can kind of understand why people be disappointed, because like the narrative really wanks him up, and people just generally hate Qin Shi Huang beating him. I don't think he is. I think he fought one of the strongest humans, and he did really well. So you know, where we're up to, Odin's devious ass smile had me dying. Like, goddamn, OG, he moving devious. God, we're getting. Who is Sig-freed? I feel like I've heard of him, but I don't remember him being in any mythology-based shows or movies. Sig-freed is from Norse mythology. He's in Fate. He's in Fate Apocrypha. If you want another bit of thing he appears in. Yeah, he's the demi-human who wields Gram, which is this magical sword, and he kills Fafnir. He does some other stuff, but like, yeah, I wouldn't say he's the most prominent in terms of like Norse people in pop culture, but yeah, he's basically a Norse guy. Is the draw round Ra versus Sig-freed clearly? Is the draw round gonna happen, guys? Like, we all go on about the draw round, but like with every round that passes, the draw round becomes more and more unlikely. But we'll see. Sig-freed is a warrior of Norse myth who slayed a dragon. I'm afraid of nothing else. Yeah, but yeah, basically. Why didn't we put Ra and Horus, Sobek, and Osiris on the roster? God damn it. We had Sekhmet, right? So we at least had one Egyptian in the fan roster. Even in Sherlock's outfit, Buddha is still drippy. I mean, I'd argue this Sherlock outfit's even drippier than usual Buddha, personally. My friend just DM'd me the thought that Odin's plan is activated during his round, summoning the gods only for Fenris, Simo, and Sig-freed to jump both the gods in their round. Possible, definitely possible. Yeah, that's a good point. I can definitely see the final round being interrupted with plot stuff. That is possible. I'd rather it didn't. I'd rather Ragnarok just finishes normally, and then we get other stuff, and then we get this final conflict afterwards. But it definitely could be. Baldur not even being mentioned is strange to me because of how important he is to the Norse mythology and Ragnarok specifically. The thing with Baldur is, Baldur could still be relevant. It's definitely possible. I think it really depends how much Ragnarok itself plays into Odin's plan, and like Baldur could be working with Odin or something like that. But at the same time, Freya's never been mentioned, and Freya is also incredibly important in Norse mythology. And then you get stuff like how, like Artemis, a very important person in Apollo's backstory and mythology, just becomes his weapon and stuff like that. So, you know, there'll be very important characters mythologically wise who are just never mentioned just because the authors don't want them in there. Seth, are you shipping Gol and Ares? I wasn't before, but now that you say it, it's best boy and best girl. So, you know, additional fighter for the gods will be Adamus. I've got to... The thing is, I agree, Adamus is one of, like, if we had to add another god to the roster, Adamus seems the most likely because he's a prominent, somewhat strong god that we know exists and is, like, has been plot relevant. I don't want it to be Animus because it's Animus, but it could be Animus. I used to predict Animus versus Leonidas could be a possible matchup, which I wasn't a fan of, but I thought it was very likely. Obviously, that didn't happen. But yeah, I think I feel if we get another God fighter, it very well could be Animus. But I'm not a fan of that. Abudi Animus clutches and Ragnarok for the gods. God, imagine that final round. Animus just rocks in one shot. If there's going to be a draw round, it'll be round 13. What have the draw round be so have the finals, what we think's the finals, and then make that the draw. That could work. That could be quite interesting actually. Because Okuta wants to die fighting at his all. Yeah, narrative. Yeah, there's a lot of narrative to Okuta's death. However, I'm my same thing is at the beginning of round 9, I think there was a lot of narrative reason to believe that Apollo could lose because of how he kept talking about how beautiful death is and stuff. But that obviously didn't really amount to anything, so I don't know. I think there's a lot of narrative for Okuta wanting to die. And I think this round could involve him learning to want to live instead and be happy about surviving and stuff like that. I think you could go with that angle. But, it's too early to say. There's the theory that the gods winning but not destroying all of humanity. I talk about that theory in next week's video. Personally, it's not... I like it. I don't think it'll happen. It just... although I praise Ragnarok's character writing and its, thematic writing quite highly, in terms of, basic... the plot, it's quite by the books, and I just don't see them subverting to the point of the gods winning. It just doesn't seem in line with everything we've seen so far. But I'd like if that happened. At the same time, Okuta introduction is such a callback to Saki. Yeah, I agree. Okuta is there's a lot of Susanoo parallels here. Not Susanoo, Saki parallels. I'm surprised that Buddha didn't get his eye back while Shiva got his arms back. Oh yeah, that's really weird. That I was really surprised chapter 4 last when Shiva just has his arms back. How did... that's assumably Qin Shi Huang will get his arm back then by the same logic. Yeah, it's weird he regenerated those arms. Maybe it's because it's something to do with him being... I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with him being a god where Buddha ascended, maybe. I don't know. And Buddha looks cool with the eye patch anyway. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, Buddha didn't actually go to the hospital. He left. So yeah, if you want to... that's a really good reason, Abudi. I feel like we might get a 1,000-year time skip and another Ragnarok to get the missing fighters. Just a thought with no credit here. If this happens, please let Cain fight Zeus in the name of Adam. I can maybe see an epilogue to the series where Ragnarok happens again, but this time it's more like a friendly sport and it isn't to the death. We could see that, and I think that'd be cool. And Cain versus Zeus would be really cool. I'd love to see that. But I don't know if we're going to see another proper Ragnarok. I can maybe see it happening again, sport-wise, but I don't know. Bro, we don't need Ares getting the barn effect with people calling him a pedo. Yeah, that's true. That's really true. Yeah. Good, but if you but Barn obviously gets the pedo allegations, which is, looking at Elaine's design, very understandable. It's really weird because Elaine and Barn is one of the best. It's not one of the best relationships in Seven Deadly Sins. It's one of my favorite romantic relationships in fiction. But then her design is just like a child. It's oh, great. Because Barn is genuinely one of my favourite characters in fiction. I think he's one of the best written characters I've seen. Seven Deadly Sins gets clowned on a lot, but I think it has genuinely amazing character writing. I've got a video on Barn on the channel, and how he goes from representing the sin of greed to representing the virtue of charity by the end of the series. Good video. But yeah, it's just kind of it's kind of awkward when you say I love Sins. I think it's really well written, and then people are like, what, the one where Meliodas is just, talking about panties the whole time and pulling Elizabeth's clothes down, and Barn is just dating what looks like a child. It's just not a bad look. It's really not. I must say. Where are we up to? Ask Sig-freed what he did with Gunther. Ogata and Beelzebub, two besties wanting to die. Oh yeah, Beelzebub wanted to die too. That's a good point. So yeah, just wanting to die doesn't mean they will die. All the winning fighters are both human and gods versus the primal god. I think that's very likely to happen. And then Ares will be on... To be fair, we all know Hermes is the top tier secretly, so that could be a good chance for Hermes to do some stuff. But I think Ares will be pulling off some mad shit in the final fight. Which of the gods and which of the human fighters would look best gender bent? Also, if you say Adam, just know a gender bent Adam would have clothes. Okay, not Adam then. That's an interesting question. Who? Okay, if we're going humans, probably not Lubu or Sasaki. Maybe Jack. Jack would be really drippy woman, drippy London woman. Maybe Okita. I can see Okita like gender bent. Yeah, human wise. For gods, Apollo would be pretty sexy. Beelzebub would be that big titty goth girl as well. Cain and Abel jump Zeus and pack him up. It will be legendary. Cain and Abel better get to the gym then, because especially Abel, because Abel's a flipping wimp, so he better get training. I agree, Booty. 7 deadly frames. What if Okita dies to be an inverse of Susanoo? I'm coping. My preferred fighters have lost 3 rounds in a row. It could happen. I just, as I say, I don't think regular Ragnarok's particularly subversive in like its basic plot. Like most rounds are fairly predictable who wins them, and I just think Okita probably just is going to win. He's also, one of the author's favourites as well, so I just think it's quite likely. Imagine if humanity went up 2-0 first 2 rounds of Ragnarok, Loki would have had a heart attack. Yeah, if you go back and read the reactions of the gods after round 3, they are proper like it's a big point that they genuinely didn't think it was possible. So yeah, but yeah, if they won the first 2 rounds, it would be quite something. Also, I don't want to imagine Goal getting back blown. No. I'm not really. God damn it. Poor Goal. I'd say Susanoo looks good as a woman. Yeah, Susanoo. Oh yeah. Actually, no. Susanoo would look a bit like. Oh, what's her name? Undraw from Undead Unluck. I can see that. Where are we up to? Humans got to be Chin. Oh yeah, Chin would be. Yeah, I think I've seen female Chin artwork before actually. Abel the twink rep is needed. That's funny. Where are we up to? Lol, I'll choose to hold my tongue on this particular topic. No more Horny 2024. Yeah, we can't get the stream demonetized again. Come out, Zeus. We won't jump you. And then you got Eve take out Zeus in the final thing as well. I feel the only way I'd respect Okita, I understand why people like him, is if he's written like Subject Zero from Katana Zero, not gonna lie. I just don't like him. Okita's cool, little murder hobo. I like Kondo though. Kondo's really cool. Like real life Kondo was not cool. Real life Kondo was a weird guy who wanted to be involved in the government, so he like indoctrinated like kids into his like weird murder club. But in the story, Kondo's like best dad. He's really cool. Oh no, is Kondo or Adam best dad? Probably Adam, I guess. But Kondo's up there. Yeah. Can't think of any other. What's the guy? Good daddies in Ragnarok. Okita, my little guy. Okita's gonna do some cool shit. I'm sure. In terms of other stuff that happened this chapter, because we've mainly not been talking about what, apart from like Dole, Loki, and I guess the Kyoto Arena. I guess we talked about the own stuff too. Actually, to be fair, we have talked about a lot of the chapter. What did people think of? Well, it's basically like we've had enough of it recently, but it's basically just confirmed Brunhilde is doing Ragnarok to somehow free Sig-freed. So that's cool. Like obviously she's conflicted. She does also have her. What's the word? What's the word I'm thinking of? She obviously is conflicted. She still wants to save humanity, but it does seem like Sig-freed's almost more important. So I'm so excited to see the Brunhilde stuff develop, but mainly how Gull reacts to it. I talked about it in last week's video, but I think that's going to be really interesting. Okita has that dog in him. He's such a savage. He has got dog in him. He's also got what's it called? What did he die of again? He died of Oh, what did he die of? He got I cannot remember what disease he died of. He died of a disease. He got that in him too. So do you, my son. I will defend Barn with the fact that have you ever seen a mature adult looking fairy in fiction? They always look young or chibi. Yeah, they do. That's that's fair enough. Like I'm not. Barn did nothing wrong because it is just a fairy. But like in verse, it's fine. But like, it doesn't look good that if you're at Spirit Owl, you think Barn and Elaine are really well written characters. It just doesn't look good. It would be cool if Ares pulls up and beats the primordial god and gets Gaul pregnant. No! Have some kids and Gaul will have an older son. No, what is this? I have started something horrendous with this weird Ares Gaul shipping. I didn't even mean to ship them either. Bloody hell. I'd cradle him and tell him the most vicious war stories to put him to sleep. The reason I liked Subject Zero is he subverted the usual murder hobo character, won't elaborate much as KZ is best played blind. Or honestly, yeah, fair enough, cool. Ogata slashes Susanoo's head off from the shoulder. I'd like that. That's a real history deep cut that like it obviously wasn't real, but like one of the things said about Okata was that he had a special move where he'd decapitate you, but also take your shoulders off at the same time. Definitely just legend, and like it didn't really happen because I don't think that's physically possible. But like if he did do that, that'd be really cool. Professor Doge, hi, welcome to stream. Under Unluck is peak. Under Unluck and Zakame does a carrying and jump. Oh yeah, in terms of the newer series, like basically, so just not the Black Clover JJK My Heroes have been around for quite a while now. Under Unluck is like the best. I love Undead Unluck. I really want to make some Undead Unluck videos on the channel. I just don't know where to start with it. I need to reread the whole series and do that. But I'm very down to it. I just don't know if anyone's going to watch it because even though the anime's out, like no one talks about Undead Unluck. It's really shame. It's a real big shame. And Sakamoto Days is just peak fiction. It's got in terms of action, it's so good. It's really good at the moment. I'm extremely thankful that Brunhilde is not doing this strictly for Sig-freed. Yeah. I think there's the amount of times we've seen Brunhilde just crying about stuff and doing shrines to the dead fighters and stuff. She isn't just doing this for Sig-freed, but it's obviously really weighing on her. And I feel if it came to one or the other, I think she'd pick Sig-freed over humanity. But I think it adds a lot more to her character, and I'm a big fan of it. Nico from Undead Unluck versus Beelzebub. Nico's probably got. If we're talking. Actually, that's a big spoiler. If we're talking Nico before the time skippy thing, then maybe. I can see he's got some cool stuff. If we're talking him after the time skippy thing, I don't want to say it, I don't want to spoil anyone, but that thing, then probably not. I predict Odin would win his round for the sake of the plot, because nowhere he dies without resurrecting him unless Loki carries on his will or something. I mean, it's possible that Odin does it with his death or something. It happens mid-round. I don't know. It's really hard to predict at this point, I think. But Loki carrying on would be pretty cool too. Especially if he's doing it. Because Sig-freed seems to be involved somewhat in this too. So it could even be that Loki betrays Odin to kill Sig-freed. But by doing so, enacts it anyway. We could have something like that. I think it would be cool if one of the dead humans came back at the end of the manga for a final fight with the primal gods. I think who comes back should be determined by which is most popular. I think that'd be cool, but if people can come back to life even after their soul being shattered and ripped and spread into out of the cycle of reincarnation, I think that would bring up a lot of questions of is Ragnarok is it actually that big a deal they died to begin with? It'd be cool. I just don't know if it would lower the stakes of the previous matches a bit. Ogata has tuberculosis. Yeah, tuberculosis, that's what I was thinking of. Odin is definitely the penultimate fighter. I'd like it if he's a penultimate fighter, but I'm not gonna hands down predict anything apart from Kintoki in the final match. So clearly this is a shitpost. The gods win and choose not to spare humanity, only for Kintoki to summon Raijin and Fujin. All three say, nah, I'd win. I always wonder that if we had a series like a normal a manga that takes stuff seriously, like a JJK or a Ragnarok, and then it's just a shitpost ending like that, would people find it funny or would they get really angry? I'm just curious how people would react to that if like something like that literally happened at the end, because I would just be really funny. Brunhilde with the win, and Solos all the gods. Ares doing Jogo backshots to goal. No, I have created a monster with this Ares goal thing. Nico versus Tesla is a better matchup. Nico versus Tesla. I feel those two would just stop mid-match and start just discussing stuff. It's a bit like the beginning in Magic Titan, before round. It's the round where Marie Curie fights, and what's her name? Oh God, what's his name? Oh, I can't remember his name now. Her name now. Oh, there's another one anyway. Before their fight, they're both like in the library discussing stuff, and then like the demons come in like, oh, it's your turn to fight, and both of them are like, okay, I'll talk to you after the match, and then realized, oh no, we have to fight. I can imagine something like that happening. Lobotomy of Ragnarok. I think the soul thing is a lie, and all the losers' souls are being used to bring back the primordial god. Oh, that's a really good idea, actually. That would be good. Oh, I like that. Yeah, that is a good idea. I quite like that idea. Do you think we will Okuta backstory, or you got to read the other manga? I think we're getting an Okuta backstory. Now, I'm curious if it's going to contradict Requiem of Shogun or not. If I had to guess, it's not. I think it's not going to reference the other story. I just don't think it will. I think it'll do its unique take. Whether those match up to events in it or not, I don't know. It's obviously going to reuse the character designs. But I think we will get a unique... Because I'm not caught up to date with Requiem of Shogun, but I'm pretty sure we haven't seen, like, Okuta's death. And obviously that is probably going to be covered in the flashback, so it could just be further along. Huang Yuling, that's what I'm talking about. I haven't actually finished that round yet. I'm reading it at the moment. It's Marie Curie has, like, probably my favourite design so far in Magic Titan. Absolute baddie. If you could choose characters from canon media to fight in Ragnarok, what would you personally choose? Curious, I personally love to see Sisyphus Prime from Ultra Kill versus Apollo. Oh, that is a really... I assume by canon media, you mean like any canon media? Oh, that is a hard one. I think we'd all like to see Kratos from God of War fighting just any of the gods. I think that'd be really fun. If we're talking like all media, get Yujiro from back in there. What's your favourite anime villain and what sin do they represent? Well, my favourite, if we're going antagonist, is Takasugi from Gintama. Like, Gintoki is my favourite protagonist. Like, he's my favourite character in fiction. And Takasugi is my favourite antagonist. I think those two are, like, so perfectly written. Like, I think they're amazing. If what's sin... Like, Takasugi's a antagonist, but he's more like an anti-hero than anything, I guess. And if he had a sin... I get Wrath, I guess. Like, his anger for, like, revenge. I kind of need to remake it because the audio is absolute trash. But I do have a Takasugi video on the channel. One of the, like, in terms of the script, I think it's one of the best videos I've ever made. But, like, the production is absolutely trash. So I can't wholeheartedly recommend for watching that video, but it's good. Escanor pulling up in Ragnarok. Escanor would be great. Escanor versus Apollo. Okuta Soji is a swordsman of epic proportions, capable of many things, but you have to read my previous manga Requiem of Shogun to figure it out. Tokita Oma versus Shiva. That'd be yeah, that'd be fun. I'd like to see how some of the katas react to like Shiva's moveset. Seth, we need another fan roster with manga humans roster versus God. Yeah, yeah. If we want to do like a fiction roster, that could be quite fun. Yeah, sure. I'll put it in the schedule. What is Gintama even about? I'm asking this unironically. Why does everyone gas it? Gintama is like one of the hard. Gintama is it's a comedy battle shonen, I guess. It's one of these. Basically, the story's about Gintoki, who is this basically, imagine Edo period Japan, but then aliens invade, take over, and ban swords, so all the samurai basically get disarmed. And the main character is a disgraced samurai from who fought in the revolution against the aliens before they took over, and he used to be a great warrior, but he's learnt humility and all this and life lessons from his time in the war and various tragedies that befalled him. So he starts running an odd jobs company, and then the story is just the mishaps and mischief that goes between him and his employees, doing various stuff. It's mostly comedy for the most part, but every once in a while you get serious, like what are called the serious arcs, where like there is proper stakes and deaths and character arcs and stuff. And the series is really, like, I love Gintama. It's my second favorite series of all time. And the way the story takes the light elements and the dark elements and intermingles them to create like a sense of why life's worth living, because even in the dark moments there's fun comedy stuff around the turn, a lot of stuff like that. And then the series ends with like I don't want to spoil like the actual plot beyond that because it's just an experience, but I'd highly recommend watching Gintama. It is great, but like it's a slow burner. It takes a while to get into, but I feel if you make it to the end of the series, I've never met anyone who didn't fall in love with it. Gintama's a comedy action series that sometimes is incredibly dark, I guess is the best way to say it. But I've raved about Gintama for long enough. Abudi, Oma and Shiva got the same Japanese voice actor. That's pretty fun. Am I the only one who thinks Leonidas' weapon can just shapeshift in general? It could definitely have more forms than we saw, but I guess like he reverts back to shield form because that's best for defense. So it might have other forms. I guess it just kind of depends on the situation, and none of the other forms were applicable to what Apollo was dishing out. Kengan updates. Kiryu Setsuna locked in against Tiger Nico. Yeah, Tiger Nico is actually fighting. He's not a beefcake like he used to be, and his personality is really not what I expected. But it's a pretty fun fight. We've also got the Justice Man's back. Justice Man in his new Justice suit, and he's getting beaten up. Akoya death flags. There are death flags. I don't know if Akoya will just die. Characters don't die that often in the series. For the fiction roster, we must put Kratos, Escanor, Madara in the mix. All three winning, of course. Madara would be cool. Madara would be cool because we can make Madara just fight Tsukiyomi. That would be really cool. Pegasus Seiya versus Zeus would be cool, but also funny because Athena is Seiya's Umphy. She either likes him as a friend, brother, or something more. It's never clear, but think Brunhilde, Sig-freed, but Greek. Yeah, that could be cool. Fairs, I'll keep it in mind. Yeah, it's not for everyone, Gintama, but like I love it, and I will gas it up as much as I can. I'm going to lose internet soon since I'm going home, so thank you. Assuming you'll still be live by then, so take care, we will try to be. Peace, my guy. Tell me it wouldn't be funny to have Leonidas with a gun. Leonidas using a gun would be very in line with his character, given like his modern what's the word? His modern attire. But yeah, that'd be pretty funny. I'm pretty sure Odin said bring back the primordial god, meaning resurrection. I doubt a god among gods would die of old age, so either there's someone stronger that killed them off, or they got jumped. They could have been sealed somehow. I could definitely see them being like in some kind of dark seal, which so I think they might have got jumped and sealed, possibly. I hope the anime adds more to Fight 9 so the others gains more feats. AMV University, you have not watched the anime. The anime will not add feats. It will take the feats away. The anime just cuts half. It just cuts half the stuff out anyway. It's just going to cut loads of Leonidas stuff out. Yeah, I don't think the anime is going to do Leonidas any better. I think they're just going to cut stuff. Remember when we thought Leo would be the one to win against Odin? Now, I just say for the record, I never thought that. I was always against Odin versus Leonidas, especially the goddamn, what was it, double Valkyrie, Leonidas with Gol and Brunhilde's Valons fighting Odin. That was a big theory. No. Like, I put that theory on the level of the Hermes poisoning Qin Shi Huang with Mercury, like, level theories. Possible, but I was never a believer. Where we're up to? $10 says Asher ties into. I don't know what that word is. What the hell is that? You have to elaborate. I don't know what that is. I wish the round 9 wasn't cut short because of the anime. I mean, it's not confirmed that's the reason. It could be it could be a reason, mind you. But at the same time, I personally believe just some rounds just they want to write short rounds. I know a lot of people wish round 9 was longer. In an ideal world, I'd give it another chapter, but I'm personally not of the opinion that it needed it has to be longer. I think I'm in the minority with round 9 being one of my favorites. One of my favorites. Aries singing, I just got lost. Aries singing, just lost my dog to God. No, God, for God's sake. Another poem is a god from Lovecraft mythos. Oh, yeah, I would love. I never even considered Lovecraft stuff, actually. That would be really fun. Why didn't we have Cthulhu in the fan roster? No one even brought him up. Nayar Lafutep. Nayar Lafutep? Lafutep. I think I've heard that before. I did used to read and like a lot of like Lovecraft mythos stuff. Speaking of Lovecraft stuff, I cannot remember what it's called, so this isn't great. But I think last year there was a anime. Like a Lovecraftian anime. Like it wasn't adapting a Lovecraft story; it was doing a Lovecraft-like story. It was alright. It wasn't anything great, but it's like the closest thing I've ever seen to capturing Lovecraft's kind of writing style. It was very racist, but yeah, it was really. So I can't remember what it's called, so I can't recommend it. But you know that's the thing. Isn't Mona Lisa fighting Bonnie Parker in Magic Tyson? I'm pretty sure Mona Lisa's fighting at the moment. I'm not caught up. I'm very slowly catching up to the series, but I'm pretty sure I've heard people talking about Mona Lisa, so I assume they're fighting. Round 9 just had no source, no reason to drag it out. Bloody hell. Fair opinion, man. Fair opinion. How long have we been streaming, guys? We've been streaming for a whole hour. I'm probably going to have to call stream soonish. Maybe next another 15 minutes, something like that. Round 9 thing. I really feel Leo should have had a sword spear, maybe named after Achilles, and guns may have been able to raise round 9 fight-wise. I feel like if he had a sword and a spear, I feel it would have to be alongside the shield. Like, the shield is so iconic to Spartans. It's like, I don't think you realistically could have done Leonidas without giving him a shield. I think you could have a shield and something else, but I feel he has to have the shield. I think it's just too Spartan. But yeah, but him having a gun, I think, could have been quite cool. Because it would have made up for like his like lack of speed. Like he's a very slow fighter. Do you think there are other mythologies like other mythologies in Record of Ragnarok, like Hindu gods? Well, we've seen other Hindu gods. We saw them during Shiva's round, and like considering how many gods were at the initial meeting, there are I feel most pantheons do just exist. They're just not that major in like the Valhalla society. Also, what is it? Record of Ragnarok character. Whatever you do, don't look up Lovecraft's cats. No, we're not going to be looking up Lovecraft's cat, but we all know what Lovecraft's cat's called. Record of Ragnarok character versus Magic Tyson character would be cool. Yeah, if we got like a crossover, like the Baki Kengan one, that'd be cool. Also, don't look up Pokemon number 591. Pokemon 591. That would be. That's a Gen 5 mon, right? Wait, what the hell is it? I'm pretty sure 591 would be in Gen 5. But, let me have a look. I'm actually curious here. What is this going to be? It's going to... 591, who could that be? God damn it. I was right about it being Gen 5, but I God damn it, you got me there, for God's sake. Yeah, I fell for that one. I just had to know. Speaking of like Pokemon stuff, I've been doing Pokedoku every morning. It's like this 3x3 you can where you've got to match a Pokemon that like matches like criteria, like a Kanto Pokemon that evolves by friendship, or like a dark type that's evolved by trade, or a grass type from Johto, something like that. And it's been really fun. I failed today because one of the rows was Pokemon evolved by friendship, and I knew Crobat, and that was it. So I failed today. But that's really good for your brain if you're a Pokemon fan. Where are we up to? I meant shapeshifted into the shield. Oh, what, like the shield turns into a gun? Yeah, that could be cool. That's quite cool. Yeah, that would be fun. I think, yeah, I like that. I'm saying yeah a lot, but like, there's nothing more for me to add. It's just a cool idea. Achilles, bro. Why am I thinking of these guys later after the fan stream? Yeah, Achilles would be a cool one. Where are we up to? Who was your favourite god and human from the fan roster? Oh, favourites. Favourites from the roster. There were some cool ones. I think Ishtar. I think Ishtar was my favourite god, mainly because of the backstory we came up with for Ishtar. But I really liked, or maybe Quetzalcoatl, just because I like Quetzalcoatl a lot. Based on what we discussed for backstory stuff, I'm going to say Oppenheimer was my favourite human, and Ishtar was my favourite god. But, you know, I think there's some really cool stuff on that roster overall. Achilles hard counters most gods, not gonna lie. Only tactical war gods could beat him, depending on writing of said character. Yeah, he'd be really strong. Let's just hope it's not the Fate version, or you're getting clowned on by on a plane. Camo and Pandora, totally not biased. Oh yeah. I forgot about Pandora. Pandora is a really sick one because of Pandora's box. I can't remember who we had them fighting again though. But it was cool. Got it. God damn it. We had Record of Ragnarok Mado ties and crossover art one time. It was Buddha and someone else. I'll have to look that up because that sounds really cool. Shinobu, God of Darkness versus Hattori Hanzo, the Demon Ninja would be pretty cool. That would be. There's so many cool rosters, like fan rosters. It's just like, when you have a concept where it's gods versus any human that ever lived, there's just so many cool arguments. Pandora versus Amaterasu. Oh yeah, because Amaterasu had the mirror, so it's the box in the mirror. Yeah, I think that was pretty cool. Okay, yeah, okay, 5 more minutes and I'm going to have to call stream. Sorry, I've got stuff to do. Sorry well, it's not that short of a stream, but I'm glad this stream we have started the Gull Airy ship, which I do apologise for, and we discussed Loki pegging a horse. So, speaking, actually, if we want more weird Norse stuff, has anyone heard of the Norse myth where four cross-dressed as Freya to go marry... No, what was it? I think a giant stole Mjolnir. So 4 cross-dressed as Freya and then married the giant that stole his hammer and then got his hammer back. So that's fun. Yeah, so why isn't 4 cross-dressed canonically in the manga yet? You definitely should be doing it. Do you want Alkong and Sun Wukong right now or wait? Also, we would have had Wukong done the Betrayals of Humans. You can put it here if you really want to. I'm not going to make the Reckless Ragnarok video till April 1st. That's going to be the April Fool's video. Nice, long, weird fan fiction video. So yeah, but like, if you want to comment them, yeah, I am taking notes of this stuff. So yeah, go for it. Xian Yu backstory would be him believing Qi Huang as immortal, has immortality, and seeking him out and finds out he's really dead. That would be, I quite like that idea. Who do you think Zeus... Why do you think Zeus only threw hands? Many people say Zeus was holding back against Adam because he didn't use a weapon, but Zeus doesn't seem like a character to not fight to his fullest. I think if you gave Zeus his weapon, not much would change. Mainly because of how because Adam counters, he's still going to counter the weapon. I don't think it makes a difference. I really don't. And considering at the end of the match, the difference, like, Adam and Zeus were basically, like, anything Zeus could do, Adam could counter. It's just that Adam was human and Zeus was God, and his body just gave out first and the blood hit his eye. So I think weapon or not, I don't think it would make a difference. Like, I think Zeus with a weapon is stronger, but considering how Adam's Eyes of the Lord work, I don't think it really matters if Zeus is that much stronger. I think Adam still counters him, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think Zeus is still, weapon or not, is still a powerhouse. And you could maybe make an argument that, like, he couldn't use Fist of the Past Time or like Animus mode with a weapon or something like that. If you want to go with if you really want him to be absolute full power in that match, you maybe write like the weapon limits him or something. If I'd written round 9 though, I had this done for Apollo wasn't using a divine weapon, he was using a Voland of Artemis. Thus the name Thread of Artemis. This is dumb, I know. It may be dumb, but it's really cool. And that'd be really fun. I guess it doesn't really... I guess gods can Voland though, because of Zero. I think that's a really cool idea. But, you know, I knew as soon as the weapon was called Artemis, Artemis just wasn't going to be a character. Same with, what's her name? Hades' wife. Persephone? Whatever her name is. You smite for the first half of Alcon backstory, then I'll give the second half stream... The second half of next stream or community post. Okay, cool. We're not nerfing the gods in Ragnarok. Yeah. Well, considering we had to make, what was it? Originally, like the gods just got beaten before round 13 in the fan roster, so we had to like make a human lose just so the gods didn't get absolutely steamrolled. So we may not be nerfing the gods, but the humans we picked are absolute monsters. Also, we were talking about the other day in stream because I reread the manga the other day for a video, and you know we were talking about how can Shinji Huang kill a god without a Voland? And yeah, we were like, as I think someone corrected us in the stream, but yeah, we're just misremembering. You don't need a Voland to damage a god. It's just that human weapons would break when clashing with god weapons. So yeah, so it's not like this. So it's no longer this really cool feat that Shinji Huang killed a god without a Voland, because like it's not that they can't damage them. It's just your weapons just don't stand a chance against divine weapons. So I was remembering wrong last stream, but that's cool. Since when talking about cross-dressing? Since we're talking about cross-dressing, what god or human would look the best in a dress? We actually talked about this. Didn't we talk about this earlier in stream? In a dress. I mean, I'm going 4. If we're going like accurate to mythology, hit 4 in one. But I think we all know Ares is who we want to see. Ares would pull it off like really well. Dagda is one of the gods that actually cares for humanity, so his backstory would be about that. Okay, yeah, so Dagda. So Dagda would be almost a bit like a Heracles, where they care for gods, they care for the humanity, but have to fight anyway for some reason. Like, I assume, like, Sun Wukong, similarly, like, I assume Sun Wukong wouldn't agree with, like, taking part in Ragnarok. Wouldn't it be cool, actually, is Sun Wukong's not even meant to be in this Ragnarok. Another god is. And then right before round 1, Sun Wukong just jumps in, just one-shots the god that's meant to fight, and walks out because he wanted to fight... Was it George Washington or something? I think it was George Washington. So he just walks out and fights George Washington. So like, he's not there to be part of Ragnarok. He just wants to fight. Something like that. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, I've got bloody orchida's tuberculosis. Oh, great, got a cold coming on now. Great. Where are we up to? Will Odin pull a Blackbeard and off-screen Beelzebub and Buddha? I really hope not, but it would be funny. This is why Chin is the best, because he did this with pure hands, and why he's better than Adam and Sasaki. I'm sorry, he has the Gojo effect. Shinji Huang's just an absolute chad. I still think he has my favourite entrance of any character. Just him, you know, walking through the walls and then just taking Hades' seat and just declaring, I'm the Emperor, the throne is where I sit. Oh, I love Shinji Huang, such a mad side. Sun Wukong replaces the Jade Emperor. Okay, fair. Yep, we're for Jade Emperor then. Okay, yeah, I think we're going to be calling stream in a minute. So, any last questions, getting them in now. Take notes of this. We adding and this, and it's most likely Alcong because I made them chew on the backstory. And no, Alcong doesn't get one shot. Yeah, Alcong's not getting one shot. Don't worry. Shinji Huang has the Gojo effect, implies he gets off-screen killed by Odin as well. Yeah, but yeah, we're just gonna see. Yeah, yeah. I just got a funny image in my head there from that. So yeah, any last questions, get them in now, because we'll be ending in just a minute. But I'm glad everyone enjoyed the stream, and I think we can all agree this was a banger chapter, and I think we're all very excited for next chapter, first chapter of 2024, because we are finally actually going to get into round 10. It's mad we're in round 10 these days. That's mad. Like, we've only got, like, counting round 10, we've got 4 rounds to go. Possibly 5. Like, 5 if we get the draw match. But, like, that is mad, isn't it? Since Sun clowns on the Jade Emperor in Myth. Yeah, fair. Yeah, we go with that. I request Prometheus and Hephaestus to be in Pandora's backstory. That's it. We can work them in. Don't worry. God, if we're going to be discussing all the backstories, how long is this goddamn video going to be? Because, like, I'm obviously... It's a meme April Fool's video, so I'm not going to be going into the same amount of detail like I did on, like, the actual round analysis I've done. But, like, even so, this is going to be a monster video. I might have to start working on it soon. Also, for the visuals, I've got a really funny idea for the visuals of that video. So, I'm really hyped to get around to April. So we can get the Record of Sephiroth video out. What if Chaos is the primordial god, since Greek mythology is the dominant pantheon? It's definitely possible. Yeah, we just have to wait and see. I'll look on Smite on which gods get clowned on. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna have to. What's the word? I can't think of the word. End stream now. Thank you all for coming along. It's been a good stream. I'm glad we got some more great quality memes to carry on over to next stream. So thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you. I don't know if we're gonna get. I'll try to get another stream in before the next chapter review. I don't know what it'll be, but well, maybe do a tier list or something a bit interactive with chat. So yeah. See you guys. Bye.